What's a xual fantasy you have that you're embarrassed to tell anyone? I want to suffocate from thighs. I've always wanted my partner to me while I'm sleeping and or have them ravage me. I get so turned on by the idea that someone needs to have me so bad that they can't wait and don't care what I have to say about it. They just need to me now. I had a girl wake me up with a BJ once and it was the best thing ever. Been chasing the dragon ever since. I used to be really weirded out by my fetish for certain kind of disabilities. Now I'm fine with it. And so is my disabled boyfriend. Do you like that? You lying? I wanna be dominated by a SI vampire lady. Set upon by sex crazed MILFs or being used as a stud. Caught naked and taken advantage of by whoever catches me. For instance, I get caught skinny dipping. And the person who catches me doesn't turn me in. But takes my clothes so that I'm completely at their mercy. And they use me as their sex toy until they're satisfied. Then they let me go. Sure. I recently bought a nightgown. Which is about knee length. I haven't owned a nightgown since I was a child. I can't stop fantasizing about having sex in my nightgown. I love other people's fetishes. I would do and try anything. Just to give that person some pleasure. If my parents knew what I did for other people. Let's just say Amazon women in the mood and leave it at that. Nice try, future political rivals. I'm like really into bondage PRN and love the idea of it. But I've never truly tried it with a partner before. They've just never been that interested. And I'm not gonna push it. So eventually I just stopped even trying to bring it up. I'd like to be met with pictures of boobs. I may have a mild fireman fetish. Like, a big sweaty fireman carries you out of a burning building. Lays you on the sidewalk. And you think, yeah, okay, he's gonna give me mouth to mouth. But instead, he just starts choking the out of you. And the last sensation that you feel before you die is him squeezing your throat so hard that a big, wet blob of drool drips off his teeth and just flurp. I want to be treated as badly as a wannabe PRN star in the couch audition tapes. Someone to completely use me as they see fit. I dated a girl who had a similar fantasy. And we set out to give it a try. Within a very few minutes, she was in tears. Sobbing and asking, why would you do this to me? It turns out she liked the fantasy. But reality was so far off the table that she held the incident against me until we broke up. Even knowing that she requested it. I'd love to be completely overpowered. Like my so knows I love to have very little control and I love being a sub. But something I'm too embarrassed to tell him is that I'd love him to literally shove me up against a wall because he is so overcome with lust or something. I just feel like he's way too nice to feel comfortable doing that kind of thing. Pretty sure you can tell him that. Be surprised. I want attention from a woman older than me, 35-45 or so. Who feels neglected and enjoys getting attention from a younger guy. Turns out it's pretty hard to make that work, IRL. Being penetrated both holes. Edit. Tried out this weekend and they were drunk. Tired. That the bus I'm on gets hijacked by a stunningly hot woman who forces me to perform oral sex on her. A friend of mine asks to stay over while she's in town. I say yes cause hotel prices are ridiculous and I have a couch. She comes over. We chill. Watch a movie and end up friend cuddling. I say I want to go to sleep and she asks if she can share the bed. It's big enough and she doesn't like sleeping alone so I say whatever. We get into bed and go to sleep. I wake up in the morning and find that we're spooning. She is also awake and starts moving her hips. I have this fantasy where my partner has me tied down and blindfolded. And she's on top of me. Sliding back and forth. Rubbing her clit against my piece. And she does this until I orgasm. Then she laughs a little and says that wasn't supposed to happen yet. Now I have to do something really mean. And she flips around so her stuff is in my face and starts masturbating. And she'd be close enough that I could feel her breath down there. But she'd never actually touch me. And every now and then she'd rub a finger across my lips so I could taste what I'm missing out on. Anyways, gonna go smoke a cigarette now. What do I do if being too embarrassed to tell anyone about my xual fantasy is my xual fantasy? Kink shaming is my kink. Hearing I love you before saying it. Nice try. Dr. Hoffman. I didn't tell you when I was on the couch and I'm not going to tell you now. I like eating a girl out. I have a fantasy of a girl instructing me to go down on another girl. In front of her. To show her how good I am. Hasn't happened yet. Not sure what to call this. In other parts of my sex life, I'm rather dominant. I'm embarrassed to say that I just want to fall asleep in someone's arms. Preferably as the little spoon. All warm and safe. Our gentle femdom. No cuck. No pegging. No chastity. She also needs a gothic look or look like a vampire or succubus. Just be taken care of with devilish pleasure. Whenever I have xual fantasies, which is rare, the person I'm eyeing has either a German or a Russian accent, Russian most of the time, and is super romantic. But not cheesy romantic. They are also very understanding, I have issues, and sing me to sleep afterwards. I sometimes cocoon myself in blankets when I go to bed to simulate their warmth so I don't feel so alone. I didn't realize that my only xual fantasy is a cry for help until I wrote this. A ligaturating I circumflex. A username would have been my first inclination to your cry for help. In all seriousness, I hope you find the comfort and warmth you need. Watching a certain friend have sex while I observe. You stand in the corner. Wearing a lab coat and holding a clipboard. You scribble down copious notes. Occasionally muttering things like subject displays above average levels of oxytocin. When he finishes, you shake his hand firmly and say subject D37082. Our experiment with SCP-096 has concluded. You may return to your containment cell. A Latina sitting on my face calling me papy. I fantasize about taking a big penis out of my pants. I'm not embarrassed per se, I'm just afraid of the judgment. I want to all the women folk in a family. One by one. I spend the summer eyeing this girl but things don't work out. That fall her mom texts me that she's sorry things didn't work between her daughter and I. One thing's led to another and I the mom. Over Christmas me and her daughter try to make it work but we decide to be just friends. But I meet her Thai cousin at a Christmas family gathering and we that winter. She introduces me to her pill popping mom and we on the side too. That summer I run into her grandmother while volunteering at a local soup kitchen and to my surprise granny grabs my dick. You know what happens. That's only 50% of the fantasy though. The next 50% is that they all find out I've been inside all of them slowly over the next few years. I don't know why I'm the way I am. Stay away from my family. Cage match with another married man my size and skill. No rounds. To KO or submission only. The winner gets to the loser's wife in front of him. I want to have sex with a woman. I have a thing for school uniform. I don't find actual schoolgirls hot. That's weird. I just always wanted a woman to dress up for me. But I'd never ask for fear of getting labeled. I guess it comes from having my xual awakening in high school. We all wear uniform in the UK. I'm a gay guy. I've found out guys were cheating on women with me. I have the fantasy, even though I have very little attraction to women, to see what the reaction of the guy would be if they caught me with their wife. My roommates do their dishes without any passive aggressive weird bull. One day I come home from classes and the sink is just clean and empty. I'm getting so hot just thinking about this. Getting captured by Amazon warriors. Pampered and used for breeding purposes. I would like my GF to be as interested in an L as I am. So we could use toys on each other. Building up to me having full-on LSX with her. I have zero interest in being assed by a guy. But have experimented with toys by myself. And the feeling really turns me on. Funny thing is, it may actually be possible in reality. But as with many women, she's worried about the gross factor more than the pain. Should be fine if we douche and use plenty of lube. But convincing her will be very tricky. Just ask my girl if I can stick my finger in her ass when we lol. I would like to commit hand-holding with another girl. Pegging. Some women are actually really into. I would like to have great sex with my wife once a day every day. I too. Choose this man's wife. Edit. Thank you for my first silver kind stranger. I want to wet nurse my husband. I no longer have milk but really enjoyed it when I was lactating and I think he did too, but we both tiptoed around the subject. Anytime I see PRN with adult breastfeeding I'm in. I have a huge crush on Ahsoka Tano from Star Wars. Here's the thing. I've never fooled around. I have never played the field even when young. Free and single. One woman at a time. That's plenty enough trouble all on its own. Why would I want more? For all my character flaws. I am proud of my loyalty. I have never cheated. Ever. What this means though is when I try to have a mental fantasy about anyone else, my wife says I'm allowed Sandra Bullock, then in my head I am just getting into it. Then I am caught and my marriage is ruined and my kids won't speak to me and I'm being taken to the cleaners by lawyers and I've lost the respect of everyone I know. It turns into a nightmare every time. So I just read a book. Stupid fantasies. Edit. You're all wildly missing the point of my post. The wife is fine with fantasies. I am not oppressed. Stop trying to shift blame to her. She is the adventurous one. I was merely laughing at my inability to have a quiet mental fantasy without my nature eyeing it up. Sure. Sleep. Sleep SX. You mean the Cosby effect? I break into Tiffany's at midnight. Do I go for the vault? No. I go for the chandelier. It's priceless. As I'm taking it down, a woman catches me. She tells me to stop. It's her father's business. She's Tiffany. I say no. We make love all night. In the morning the cops come and I escape in one of their uniforms. I tell her to meet me in Mexico but I go to Canada. I don't trust her. Besides, I like the cold. 30 years later, I get a postcard. I have a son and he's the chief of police. This is where the story gets interesting. I tell Tiffany to meet me in Paris. By the Trocadero. She's been waiting for me all these years. She's never taken another lover. I don't care. I don't show up. I go to Berlin. That's where I stashed the chandelier. I want my boyfriend to use me with his friend. Or maybe just do a full-on gangbang. I also want to try fisting. Edit. Doing a girl while she has a tail plug in. Username checks out. Getting nailed in the front passenger seat of a big vehicle. I love to get fed. Now, you're probably imagining someone round or even obese, but no. I normally don't eat that much. But when a hot girl feeds me through any method it's just the easiest ever. Don't say any method in this thread. I want my wife to invite her female friends over and tie them up and them with toys as much as I wish while I her whenever I want during all of that. And I do want all of them to come. Not just be slaves. At least you want them all to come too. What a gentleman. Doing a thick chick doggy style while she's eating out my GF. While my ex-GF eats my asshole. It'd be like watching a perpetual motion machine. Well, I actually have 3. 1. I'm a male and I want to be dominated by a woman. No hardcore stuff involved like shoving things on my anus. Just get overpowered while she milks me and I get lost in the pleasure. 2. To a cousin of mine. Like we just lose to our instincts and like 2 animals. No protection involved. I'm ready for Alabama jokes. 3. To a woman much older than me. The tuft of an older and experienced woman teaching me where to pleasure her and using my body just makes me horny. The third one almost happened to me, but it was a weird situation and I didn't go all the way through. A hug. A functioning government. Oh Nancy Pelosi. You're such a tease. Just to be able to finally lose my virginity. Edit. Thank you to everyone who has upvoted my comment and for everyone who has replied back to me. Sorry if I didn't reply back to you. But I tried to read every reply. I want to watch my wife have sex with one of my friends. Or two. Or someone she picks up on Tinder. Maybe have it become a semi-regular thing with a few guys. She's quite vanilla when it comes to sex. And can get embarrassed even talking about it. That's probably why it's a fantasy of mine to see her go wild. MFM threesome with my girlfriend and some other guy. For all of you that want to do something kinky, it's possible. Enough people into this stuff. Just do your reading on how to do things safely and enjoy. Breaking both my arms. There it is. BDSM. I really want to get into it and being a sub to a dom female. For reference, I'm a guy who my friends say I can be intimidating for being a bit hunched due to the gym. Any advice people can give? Go to FetLife and make an account. Find the local events in your area. Go be friendly and expectation free. Be honest and upfront with what you want. Find someone who wants to share what you want. Be happy. Good luck. I've always been really into public and group sex. Not just a plain orgy but like casual. So I've always wanted to have sex with a group of friends. Just swapping in and out and having fun with it. Plus I'm bisexual. So like everyone is fair game in this fantasy. But sadly most of my friends aren't very sexually explorative. Or gay. So that won't happen. A lot of variations on femdom. Ladies, take the bull by the horns. I want to have a traditional marriage with my GF. You want to marry her for political power? I'm not telling anyone. I want a girl to shove a cupcake in her ass and then it into my mouth. Well, you're honest. I'll give you that. Strawberry cake. I want to be used by my boyfriend and his friends. I secretly want a stepsister that I secretly have sex with. What are you doing? Step bro? A newer fantasy of mine is free use week. So for 1 week out of the year, your partner is free use. Meaning anytime you feel horny, they have to stop whatever they are doing and let you have them. Or, more likely, you get to have at them while they continue doing whatever they were doing. Oh. You're putting away laundry? Your butt looks good in those pants. Let's slip them off. Did you want to sit in that chair and read a book? Well, I'm horny, so open your mouth. I've thought it through. And it obviously needs to be consensual for both parties. To solve that, I think the easiest way to do it is that the person who is becoming free uses to initiate the week. So, my wife would have to come to me and say I've been feeling pretty good. And it's not Shark Week. So it's your week. I, at some other point during the year, would do the same. Getting arped by a woman. Arpe fantasies are very common but not much talked about. IRL. No judgment from me. I also fantasize about it. No one's judging you. Stepmom roleplay. Having a threesome with a mom and daughter. Fetish. Talking to a guy who doesn't mind trying it at all. Fortunately. Gagging. Relations with a pregnant woman. To expound on that though. If we're talking true fantasy. As in physically impossible in real life. Being with a woman whose belly is rapidly expanding. Wouldn't have to be pregnancy per se. Just her belly bloating out quickly. From flat to very large pregnancy sizes. But in some way that's not dangerous or painful to her. Breast expansion. being kidnapped and used as a sex slave by a tribe of very muscular Amazon woman. I want a Nicki Minaj and Scarlett Johansson. I'd pass on Nicki Minaj. But as long as I have a face. Scarlett Johansson has a place to sit. My dude likes for me to sit on his face any chance he can get. He's all about my ass and eating it. Biting it and just being all around it. But my biggest fantasy is his ass and all I wanted for him to sit on my face. I want to finger him. Lick him from front to back and just be buried in between his legs for the rest of my life. I love everything about him but his ass has taken a hold of me. He doesn't like it and often squirms away when my hands get down there, and just recently he sat on my face mostly because it was during 69 and he was resting and I was so unbelievably turned on I practically came on the spot. I'm able to stop time but I accidentally make the hottest girl in my class able to move and the wee frick. Asking people what their embarrassing xual fantasies are on Reddit. I want to get hit by a trans woman. Something about feeling my partner's boobs against mine and their dick inside me sounds insanely hot to me. I want to partake in the devil's threesome. I think that's what it's called. Basically me on my back. With my wife, or another gorgeous girl, on top of me in a 69. And she's being penetrated doggy style by a man, or transxul. The idea of being able to eat PSSY and simultaneously lick a thrusting cock gets me too incredibly turned on. I'd also love for the guy to pull out of the girl and put his cock in my mouth for a few seconds to clean the juices off of and then go back to eyeing. Keep in mind that I've never sucked a cock before and I'm not attracted to men. But the idea of sucking a big thick cock gets me so turned on it's not even funny. Being dominated by a woman, femdom. But especially foot worship and chastity. Passable sissy traps. Something about them cute bastards makes want that man butt. I once had a dream that a single teacher from my high school once asked me for my seed when I stayed after school, and ever since then I like the idea of having sex to get a girl pregnant. She has extremely large boobs, so it was a great dream. It's a powerful moment. You are creating life in that moment and it's what sex is all about. The original purpose. It's the second biggest thing a girl could want from you. Wanting to bear your child. It's like a compliment to your very being and genes. Didn't Jimmy Carter say he committed adultery cause he had impure thoughts? His words. Pretty sure he said impure thoughts. Tentacles. I like the being restrained and forcibly ed. Also the stretching. Speaking of stretching. Gaping. Love a nice big cock. This is less embarrassing and more just feeling bad. Because I know a lot of smaller guys are insecure. And I know how much being insecure sucks. But really big guys. Think well above 6 foot. And jacked. Gregor Clegane type, in the books. 8 feet tall and 400 pounds of muscle. Obviously. That's impossible, Irel, but you did say fantasy. Churchman. I blame the tosser but fit priest from Derry Girls for this. But I just love the clerical collar. And having sex in a church? Calling them father. Like Father John Smith? Really revs my motor. Expansion. I think it's called. The one with the breast growth. Come. Haha, I know username checks out. Just enjoy a nice load. It's a little hard to bring up being interested in CBT. Particularly when you want to be on the giving end of it. Cock and ball torture. From Wikipedia. The free online encyclopedia written. Wikipedia. Org. Cock and ball torture, CBT, is a sexual activity involving application of pain to the male genitals. I want to be in a really successful rock metal band. Get publicly famous and whatever. Having a really friendly and supportive relationship with my bandmates. To the media's knowledge. Little do they all know. I'm the bands come and they gang me all the time. Or take me one-on-one. And I'm super into it. I don't even play any instruments, Irel. Not gonna lie. Naked girl tied to bed. Me completely covered including gloves, mask, etc. while holding a vibrator. I get to make a girl orgasm without the risk of spreading my Thai genes to an innocent new life form, and I am fully clothed and covered so nobody will have to see me. Unrelated to my name, but I fantasize about being a child having sex with an adult woman with enormous tits. These with the downvotes. I'm not a pedophile. I am not turned on by children. This is the sort of answer this thread is looking for. Right?